Hi, my name is Gerd Herndl. I'm professor of marine biology at the Department of Functional and Evolutionary Ecology. My research focus is studying the interactions of marine organisms with the environment, particularly in the deep sea. In this video, you will learn about marine biodiversity. After watching this video, you will understand what marine biodiversity is and why it is threatened due to climate change and other risk factors. You might think biodiversity loss is a problem on land, but the ocean is too wide and too remote to be affected by biodiversity loss. But is this really true? The ocean is facing major environmental changes such as marine heat waves, acidification, overfishing, invasive species that are replacing originally present species and thereby might change marine food webs. The temperature of the wind-mixed surface ocean is increasing steadily. This causes a redistribution of organisms ranging from bacteria to fish and marine mammals. Species occurring in the tropical and subtropical regions of the ocean are moving towards temperate regions, and species originally present in temperate regions are moving towards subpolar regions and those towards polar regions. Typically, organisms inhabiting polar waters cannot move elsewhere and become increasingly replaced by subpolar and temperate species. Marine heat waves are affecting also groups of organisms loving warm waters, like tropical coral reef species require water temperatures between 22 and 28 degrees centigrade. But if waters become warmer than that, such as in marine heat waves at the Great Barrier Reef of Australia, they are massively dying off, leaving only their bare calcareous skeletons behind. Corals are generating own ecosystems, building coral reefs, attracting many fish and other organisms. Coral reefs have the highest biodiversity besides tropical rainforests on Earth. If corals are dying off, a larger number of other organisms are also disappearing. As of now, more than 60% of the coral reefs worldwide are endangered due to warming and increased influx of wastewater, leading to an increased nutrient concentration of many coastal waters, which are the habitats of coral reefs in tropical waters. Thus, coral reefs are under severe pressure worldwide and decline rapidly. Overfishing is another major problem affecting the entire food web. 98% of the food the global human population consumes comes from agriculture on land. So why do we have a problem of overfishing? 40% of the global ocean is overfished, almost 90% of the Mediterranean Sea. And the reason is that we are fishing the species at the top of the trophic level of marine food webs. While in agriculture, our food comes mainly from plants and animals feeding on plants. In the ocean, we are catching top predators, as if we were eating mainly wolves and bears. Currently, global fisheries catch about 100 million tons of fish per year. If we would switch the fish on our plates to mussels, for instance, that exist at a lower trophic level, we would have about 4,000 million tons of food per year without harming fish populations. This would be a major contribution to cover protein demands of the growing human population, reaching about 10 billion people by 2050. Deep-sea mining also represents a major threat for biodiversity and the life in the deep sea. Deep-sea organisms are adapted to a slow pace of life as they are living in a stable, but cold environment where food is generally limited. As an adaptation to these deep sea conditions, animals there are slowly but steadily growing, getting really old, but generate only a low number of offspring. Thus, mining the deep sea for rare metals such as for lithium, needed for our cell phones and computers, causes a tremendous disturbance to these deep sea systems because of resuspension of the muddy sea floor. Collecting these metal nodules generates dust-like clouds of mud, which are transported over large areas by the deep water currents, covering animals living on the seafloor, such as sponges and deep-water corals, causing mortality of these organisms. Large companies are interested in exploiting the deep sea, and negotiations are underway how to regulate this mining and restrict it to certain areas. So are there ways to mitigate all these changes in the loss of biodiversity in the ocean? Yes, there are. Marine protected areas. According to the plans of the European Commission, by 2030, 30% of the European land and seas should be restored, and by 2040, 40% of the environment, including land and ocean, should be free of human activities according to the plans of the European Commission. Although there is still a long way to go to reach these goals, there is progress and a growing number of projects to restore marine life. Overall, the ocean life is changing rapidly and suffers from loss of biodiversity. But if we are capable of stopping fossil fuel burning, we will eventually also be able to restore marine life and thereby reach the Sustainable Development Goals as formulated by the United Nations.